Yo, shalom, shalom. Koholo Yahweh Bahashem, Hamashayak Yahushua, forgive me the spirit and power to do this lesson, and forgive me the spirit and power to wake up another day to show forth repentance in these last days as we get closer and closer and closer and closer to Jacob's trouble, the great tribulation period, the day of the Lord, the hour of temptation, whatever you want to call it, man. We need to be repentant and growing in grace, as says 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 18. Grow in grace. You're commanded to grow in grace. The grace that was given to you, we're supposed to be changing, right? So you see the title of the lesson, a microwave mindset. Now, a microwave mindset is simply about, uh, because people be buried inside of their phones every day, all day. A lot of people got excuses. A lot of people don't, right? And that's not the problem, having a phone and entertaining yourself on your phone. The problem is when you make that your reality. It's like virtual reality. But these YouTube shorts, these Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of this scrolling, it damages your brain, man. It damages your brain to where your attention span is horrible. Now, I wanted to title the lesson, the mindset. People has the mindset of a goldfish. But as I did research, that's actually a myth that goldfish has the shortest attention span. I think it was like 3 seconds or something like that. And that's not the truth. Goldfish do not have a 3 second short-term memory loss. In fact, chimpanzees have the shortest term memory loss. I think it's chimpanzees, baboons, bees, and hamsters. They have the shortest short-term memory loss. Like they lose what they remember the quickest. That makes sense. So these animals, right? We need our brain to meditate. The Bible tells us all throughout the book, we're supposed to be meditating on the law, statutes, commandments. We're supposed to be meditating on the Most High's judgments. We're supposed to be meditating on his ways. That's what the book tells us. But we cannot forget we're fighting wickedness and demons in high places, as said in Ephesians chapter 6. And fighting demons in high places, demonic spirits in high places, demonic forces, you got to understand social media is a part of that. Technology is being used to weaponize against you. So YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all of this scrolling is damaging your brain. It's detrimental. It's not horrible because we all do it. And it's, if that's what you want to do for your pleasures, that's fine. But it can damage your brain. It will damage your brain if you do it too much. I know people be scrolling for hours, man. I've done it, man. I mean, we have to use real life testimonies, and I've been there, done it. I do it sometimes, but for the most part, I try not to do it. For the most part, like you'll get caught up in the bathroom and your ass is falling asleep because you've been scrolling. You already didn't handle business, but you still scrolling. Those things happen. This is what we have to fight against in this society. When it says in Sirach 13:13, one of my go-to precepts, we walk in the dangers, the perils of our overthrowing. It's stuff that be popping up on these shorts that we look at. It's like, damn, that's wise right there. This education on is complete Egyptology, or is Islam, or it's some bullshit. It's Stoicism and Greek myths, and it's bullshit, right? But that's what people are looking to get when they're scrolling, is that stimulating feeling every time they look at a new video. Whether it's funny, they want to be educated by something. Some people scroll because they just addicted to scrolling, man. It's like everywhere I go, people have their phone in their face. It's like in their face. In their face, Salakia. They all have their phones in their face. I'm gonna put myself in there. We all have our phones in our face. This is what we have to fight against, right? So keep going on. Chimpanzee has the shortest memory recorded, not goldfish, right? We need our mind to be able to meditate on the laws, statutes, commandments, the ways of the Most High, and the judgments of the Most High. If not, you will be considered an airhead, man. Why? Because you can't reflect on nothing, small or great. You can't reflect on anything, nor you can't choose consciously. They're just like a brute beast, like Peter's speaking about in First Peter chapter 2 and chapter 4. Peter calls Israelites brute beast. Let me get this. When you don't have when you can't reflect, you make decisions and you did something. You might make a decision and it was a mistake. You can't even reflect on it because you didn't forgot you made that mistake. You forgot that you handled a situation the way that you handled it. So meditation is very important. And, scrolling all day can deteriorate your attention span when it comes to meditation. We all need to be meditating. So let me get Psalms chapter 1 and verse 1. This is how the book of Psalms starts off saying, Psalms 1 and 1. It says, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. We have to figure out what the counsel of the ungodly is. People that's telling you God still loves you after doing things that and that's in the Bible that God never approved of in the ancient world. So they try to hang on to that. That was back then. That's not the same God we serve now, right? Just because you change, God doesn't change. But it says, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. Then it says, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. That's what we're supposed to be meditating in. The law, statutes, and commandments. The law, statutes, commandments. And I got another precept I want to get. But first, I want to read this. So what I typed in is, what does YouTube Shorts do to your brain? And it says, constant dopamine hits. And, when you get used to doing anything, that's just what it is. You want to continuously do that. What about when you studying? It's going to be the same thing. A lot of people say no, but truth be told, that's just what it is. If you start drinking every day for a whole month straight, guess what? You're not just going to stop drinking. You're not. That's just how it goes. That's the dynamics of life, man. When you overindulge in something, you start to build an addiction for it, a tolerance for it, right? If you eat, let's say weed, you eat a little bit of weed every day for a whole month, your tolerance is going to go up to, even though you're eating this weed every day for a month, you're going to have to start indulging in more and more and more to be able to meet that tolerance. That's how it is when you're scrolling too. It's like a drug. So it says every short is designed to grab attention immediately and deliver a tiny reward, funny clip, satisfying visual, or shocking moment. And that's just the truth. You see the most gruesome shit when you scrolling. You see the most satisfying visuals when you're scrolling, like AI videos that they got today. You got Boonhauer doing the damn geekmanship dance, right? Or a funny clip. Everybody wants to laugh because everybody's depressed nowadays. So they go run into social media hoping to get that, and they're destroying their brain at the same time. But guess what? These companies know this. These companies, these Fortune 500 companies operate off the spirit of Satan, man. And that's just the truth. And when you accept that, you will see things for what it is and you will know what to fight against. So it says your brain releases dopamine, the feel-good chemical, reinforcing the behavior of watching more. Like I said, your tolerance. You're going to want to watch more and more and more and more. Then it says over time, this can condition your brain to crave constant stimulation. Like, and I be teaching my sons that, because every single thing they do, they try to make fun out of it. And I'd be like, bro, sometimes we have to deal with shit the way it is. You can't try to make fun out of every single thing in life. Now, they're kids, But you want to start teaching these children at a young age. What is the saying? You can bend a branch, but you can't bend a tree. So you teach them young. You teach them at a very young age, man. Don't be no fool and wait till your child is 11 years old to start teaching them, because you're gonna run across a lot of problems that most likely you're not gonna be able to fix. Straight up. And I see that a lot with people. They children be bad than a mofo. Like we have grown to accept terrible twos. Terrible twos. We accept that children are bad and they're supposed to be bad at 2 years old. That is crazy. That's a delusion. That is a delusion. When you do it right, that is not going to happen. I've seen kids that's not like that. So how do you work? How do you explain that? So it says, over time, this condition your brain to crave constant stimulation, making normal, slow-paced tasks feel boring, like being at work. That's why a lot of people, they run through jobs, man, because they be bored at the job that the current job they got or the previous job they had. They get real bored, man. So it says, short attention span. Short attention span. With videos under 60 seconds, your brain adapts to quick, high-intensity content. This can make it harder to focus on long-term content, reading, studying, or even having deep conversations. So you see that? This is the target. Don't think Satan and his minions is not stupid. They have power. Look at the power. Look at what they're doing now. Look at the technology the Most High allowed Satan to give to Esau and the rest of these nations. So that lets you know right there how wise he can be. He is wise, right? He's perfect on the left-hand side, right? So I'm gonna read it again. This can make it harder to focus on long form content, reading, studying, or even have deep conversations, which you need all three of them to be something in this world. They're cutting that down. That's their objective. That's what these Fortune 500 companies' mission is. Their goal is to make you dumb as hell. It's like the Willie Lynch all over. Kill the brain. What did it say? Damn. It said, cut off the head and use the body, roughly paraphrasing. That's what they did. And they did it to the Native Americans too. That was their goal. That was their mission. That was their MO. Cut off the head and utilize the body. Make the people dumb as hell, but consciously enough to drive a vehicle. Consciously enough to operate machinery. That's the job. I mean, that's the goal. They want everybody to be dumb as hell when it comes to education. When it comes to reading, studying, or even having deep conversations. They do not want you to have deep conversations, right? So it also says, infinite scrolling and algorithmic feeds mean your brain is constantly making micro decisions about what to watch next. And I've been in that. I put myself in there. I've been in that situation where you'll run across a certain video, whether it's funny or whether it's a shocking moment, and then you go type in similar videos like that, and now you on a whole different page. Now you went to the next level of dopamine. You went to the next level. You ain't studied, you ain't read, you ain't prayed, you ain't did nothing. And sometimes you got to check yourself. But a lot of people are so too deep in. They're way in too deep. Right? They don't even understand what you be trying to explain to them on the highways. You know how many people that didn't walk past us scrolling on their phone and missed the opportunity to hear God's word? It says, this can lead to mental fatigue without you even realizing it. Everybody think they good and everything is okay, but this is why we do these kind of lessons, to help you understand everything is not okay. Scrolling all day can alter your brain, man, for the worse. Then it says, Many shorts focus on highlights, extreme experiences, or unrealistic lifestyles. Your brain unconsciously compares yourself to these snippets, which can lead to anxiety, low self-esteem, or FOMO, fear of missing out. And it just keeps going. It reduces your patience and deep thinking, sleep disruption, social comparison and anxiety, the endless loop, the trap. It just keeps going. But this is what it all does. This is what YouTube Shorts does to your brain. And it, most importantly, it alters your ability to meditate, man. Like we read in Psalms chapter 1 and verse 2, that we're supposed to be meditating in the law day and night, man. But when you're on YouTube Shorts every day, no matter what you read, you're going to forget. And that's the fiery darts of Satan, man. That's the fiery darts of the wicked. That's principalities and spirits in high places. They understand this. They trying to cut that out of your brain, what you studied and what you read. So Sirach chapter 6 and 37, it reads, let thy mind be upon the ordinances of the Lord and meditate continually in his commandments. How can you do that if you're scrolling all day? You got to really ask yourself that. How can you do that if you're scrolling all day? Like I said, we all get caught up in scrolling, but that shouldn't be the focus every single day, man. Some days you got to check yourself. Some days you got to put that phone down and use just the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Some people can multitask and be like, all right, cool, I'm going to use this phone for just looking up definitions or, history or, compare it in text, looking in different translations. Some people can, but those same people, it does distract them too. They can say whatever they want. You always end up, you're like, damn, how did I get here? How did I get to the point where I'm scrolling? You're supposed to be going straight to Google and looking up at what time frame did Ezekiel have to eat this bread? And you end up YouTube Shorts, scrolling. You 50 videos in, 50 shorts in. And another point, they know exactly what they're doing. That's why they say these videos can be no more than a minute and 45 seconds. Anything above that is not considered a YouTube short, and they would put it in a section of being a video. A lot of shit you see now, like Charleston White, this nigga's brain is just like all over the place, man. He don't believe in God. Then he using God as a reference. Then he don't believe in God. Then he using God as a reference. He believe women supposed to be treated like women. Now they supposed to be treated like hoes because they want to act like hoes. It's like, bro, this dude be all over the place. And that confuses the mind of these people. It confuses them, traps their brain, right? And they thinking that they supposed to act like this dude. So reading it again, let thy mind be upon the ordinances of the Lord and meditate continually in his commandments. He shall establish thine heart and give thee wisdom at thine own desire. See that? That's what we're supposed to be doing, meditating on the ways, the judgments, and the laws of the Most High God. That's what it is. One more on meditating. I want to go over a couple chapters in Sirach chapter 14 and verse 20. It says, blessed is the man that doth meditate good things in wisdom, and that reasoneth of holy things by his understanding. See that? Blessed is the man that doth meditate. They are trying to steal this from you. That's what the great tempter's job is. He comes to steal, kill, and destroy. I believe, roughly paraphrasing. That's what Satan's job is. I think that's John 8 and 44. The very first thing I believe it was, he comes to steal. So he comes to steal all his wisdom, knowledge, and understanding from you. He comes to steal your blessings. And scrolling is one small thing that he uses to do that. We need to be reflecting. The scriptures tell us in Deuteronomy 32 and 7, remember the days of old. That's what we're supposed to be meditating on. And it says the Holy Spirit is what brings things to your remembrance, whatsoever Yahweh Shah said to you. You don't always have the Bible because you have to work jobs, because you have to, deal with kids, you have to deal with, wives, you have to deal with things, family, friends, you have to deal with these things. But meditating, there's no excuse why you shouldn't be meditating on these things still, constantly. There's no reason. Straight up. Right? But it causes our people, first and foremost, to react like brute beasts, man. Like I said, Peter brought that up about our people acting like brute beasts, acting like animals. Animals act off of impulse. Animals, they don't have the wisdom that we have. And I gotta get that. So in the book of Job, so in Job chapter 35 and verse 10, it says, "But none saith, where is God, my maker, who giveth songs in the night, who teacheth us more than the beast of the earth, and maketh us wiser than the fowls of heaven." So a lot of people, they're so docile to what's really going on, they don't even learn from the animals. We're supposed to be learning from the animals and using that and growing. Like, for instance, Esau does it. Esau learned how to make an airplane by simply examining a bird. That's what Esau did. This is the same thing we're supposed to be doing. Watching these animals, observing, like it tells us in Proverbs 6:6. He says, observe and take heed to the ants. They not lazy. Why are you lazy? So we are smarter than these animals, but it's a lot we can learn from them. And we're supposed to be meditating on these kind of things. Straight up. That's why, I'd be thankful that my children, they love nature. They love watching nature, man. They love wild crats. They love, on the Sabbath, we watch nature videos all the time, man. And we be learning new stuff about animals all the time. And it's very good because when you look at these animals, it teaches you a lot of stuff, like the Bible said it would. But my point is, we are not brute beasts. We are not animals. They do not have the wisdom we have. We're reading it right here. It says, who teach us more than the beast of the earth, and maketh us wiser than the fowls of heaven. That's why we're able to mock how a bird flies and create a plane after it. A bird can't do that. So Isaiah chapter 51, and this is an example. Isaiah 51:20. This is what the Bible says. It says, for your children have fainted and lie in the streets, helpless as an antelope caught in a net. The Lord has poured out his fury. God has rebuked them. So when you look at them niggas out there on the corners in California, Chicago, New York, all of these, Texas, all these predominant places, what do you see? You see these niggas like brute beasts. Niggas pants hanging off their ass. They ain't got on no shirt. They got white shit in the cracks of their mouth. Niggas is high as hell, leaning on walls. And they got pistols in their drawers and drugs in their pants. And they not thinking about anything but what some trouble to get into. That's in the Bible. They're looking forward to killing their own without thinking about it. Like, the wisest thing to do is to be like, bro, if I'm killing my people, nobody's going to be here to help me. Nobody. They not wise enough to think like that. That's what makes them brute beasts. Or what is the end for what happens for me living this lifestyle? They don't think about that. They don't think about that at all. It's just, I don't give a fuck, cuz on the set. I don't give a fuck, blood on the set. That's all you hear. You go watch like Gangland, you go watch these TV shows, bro, these dudes is brute beasts, man. And we all lived like that at one point in time. All right, but those days is over now that we had a knowledge of the truth, man. So that's how we're compared to. like a wild bull or antelope caught in the net. They not just about to let you catch them. They're gonna be bucking and, you know, trying to get up out of there. And that's, that's what Jake looked like a wild bull caught in a net. They just going crazy for no reason. They ready to drill you for no reason. Right? So like I said, these Fortune 500 companies, they ran by the devil. We know his job is to steal our attention and put it towards something else, right? So let me get this. 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 4. It says, I'm gonna start at 3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. The world is lost. That's why these YouTube shorts, we just read how people try to compare their life to that. If I can go back to that. It said that people try to compare their life So it says your brain unconsciously compares yourself to these snippets, which can lead to anxiety, low self-esteem, or FOMO, fear of missing out. This is how people's lives are being shaped. YouTube shorts, man. TikTok shorts. That's why a lot of people, they'll see a TikTok dance and everybody wants to do this shit now. Everybody wants to do this shit now. Like this eating a bowl thing, bro. I hate seeing that. Maybe like they eating it up. It's like, bro, that is the most annoying. That shit is annoying watching people do that. Take me through there. That shit is annoying, man. It's annoying. Clocking tea, annoying. They think they say something so deep and spiritual, and then they try to clock tea out. It's like, bro, that shit was stupid. You got men clocking tea now. Why? Because they seen this on YouTube shorts. They probably seen it too much. Because whatever you watch the longest, technology, the devil, how he works, whatever you watch the longest, that's what's gonna keep popping up on your phone, because it's made, man, it's so crazy how it's created to watch you. The beast system is created to watch you and give you what your brain is really feeding on. So you'll be just scrolling. And the video you stop and you watch for a whole minute, it's gonna show you more and more of those videos. And I know that, and the first thing I realized that is with Charleston White. I watched one of his videos, a couple of his videos for a long time, like almost the whole video. And I just, that's all I get now is Charleston White short clips. And I was like, okay, this is for real. This is what it does. We have to come to terms with that. It's feeding you what it feels like your brain wants to see. And it works a lot of the time. Whatever you leave that video on and you watch, whatever YouTube short you watch the longest or you watch all the way through, it's going to give you more and more of that. Because their job is to steal your attention on nothing. Because be honest, what is the YouTube shorts about? Nothing, man. It's about nothing. So 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and 3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world, Satan, have blinded the minds of them which believe not. Right? That's why we're able to see the schemes of the devil, roughly paraphrasing. Let me get that right quick too. That's a good one. So it says, in whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach Yahushua, who is the image of God, be shined unto them. So he's keeping them distracted. This is not just a one-time distraction. This is a constant distraction to keep you from seeing the glorious light of Yahushua, to keep you from seeing these brothers on the highways and byways who actually changed their life coming from different backgrounds. It's to keep you from seeing that. It's to keep you from seeing, it's like, dang, it's brothers everywhere, all over this place, telling you the same message. Repent, keep the laws, and keep the faith of Yahushua. That's what Satan's job is. He's the great tempter. But it also says in 2 Corinthians 2:11, it says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. But in the NLT, it says, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. Scrolling all day, tearing apart your mind, that's an evil ass scheme. But that's what Satan do. He hands it to you as in you doing it to yourself. But that's all he's doing is putting this in your face. That's all he's putting. It started off with commercials. Commercials, 30 seconds at the most. Now it's your phones. Now it's your computers. Now it's tablets. And guess what? It's molding your children from the get-go, man. I don't care what nobody. I don't sit there and let my children just scroll all day. I don't do it. We all got time frames that we can be scrolling on our phones. It's stuff to do. Even myself, it's stuff to do, man. It's always something to do. People don't even want to go outside and smell the roses no more. People don't want to go outside and ride bikes no more. But you know what they will do? They'll be locked in their room scrolling all day long, man. Men and women and children. It's up to you if you want to continue in that path. That's on you. That is all on you. But we are seeing Satan's job. We're seeing how he's using it, and we have to acknowledge it for what it is, and we gotta stand up against it. Like I said, scrolling is not bad. Scrolling isn't bad. It's using this as your primary source for pleasure. That's the problem. And that made me think of this. Because like I said, scrolling isn't the problem. It's using this as your primary source. That's the problem. So this is Colossians chapter 3, and this should give you a better understanding of things in general. When you're just scrolling all day, that means something. Because think about it like this before I read this. A lot of people, and I'm gonna start off with this. Most people we talk to, we offer them to come to prayer. Prayer is 5 minutes tops. A lot of these people know that because they've came before, but they don't come no more after that. Why? It has nothing to do with them just not wanting to be in prayer and not, they don't believe in the prayers we praying. It don't got nothing to do with that. It's about their attention span. It's about them forgetting that they was even supposed to come to prayer the next day and the next day and the next day. That's what YouTube Shorts do to your brain. That's what Facebook does to your brain. That's what TikTok and Instagram does to your brain. That's what it does. So it's working. You cannot be forgetting to come to prayer. Hey, sit down lessons. People don't sit down and watch lessons no more like that. They don't care to. Or they don't care to because they think they got other things to do. They think scrolling, and I didn't say it's scrolling like 10 times already. Scrolling, telling you, man, it's doing something to our brain. Right? But let's see what it can lead to. Colossians chapter 3 and verse 5. So put to death and deprive of power the evil longing of your earthly body with its sensual, self-centered instincts. It says immorality, impurity, sinful passion, and it says evil desire and greed. YouTube Shorts, Instagram, TikTok, my Facebook, they all have these flowing all through it 90% of the time. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say 99% of the time. That 1% is truth videos. Videos about God, man. It says evil desire and greed. This is the point, which is a kind of idolatry, because it replaces your devotion to God. You see that? It replaces your devotion to God. Because of these sinful things, the divine wrath of God is coming on the sons of disobedience. Those who fail to listen, see that? Listen and meditate, and who routinely and abstainly disregard God's precepts. So reading this can give you the understanding that, damn, almost anything can be idolatry that you put before God. You wake up in the morning, you smoke a cigarette I know people, I used to do it. I smoke a cigarette before I throw up a prayer or anything. And I didn't really pray. But that's the first thing I thought about when I got up was I need a cigarette. And I go light a cigarette. Anything that you put before God can be a kind of idolatry. It's not idolatry in its fullest extent. Its fullest extent is bowing down to an idol. But these are kinds of idolatries, meaning the wrath of God is still going to be upon you. Straight up. So from 2 Corinthians 4:4, let's read John chapter 18 and 36. And it reads, Yahushua answered, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight, that I shall not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom not from hence. You see that? So 2 Corinthians 4:4, it tells you that Satan is the one who's blinding the minds of the people so that they won't receive this glorious light of Yahushua. Yahushua is telling you, this ain't my kingdom, bruh. This is Satan's kingdom. It's been handed to him for a time. So who are the people being influenced by? They're being influenced by Satan. So this is why we have to be focusing and meditating on the scriptures more than anything. Because if not, it's a kind of you choosing a side. You're choosing a side. You're choosing daily trends and, fashion, and you're choosing this shit over the Most High, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Bible, man. Straight up. So Lord willing, you was edified, even if it's just a little bit, man. Hey, you have to manage your scrolling, man. The scrolling that you do, you have to manage it. Right? So until next time, I say shalom.